Hey folks, how you doing? It's good to be with you guys again in a vinyl video here. And as I'm filming this, it's Monday, the 26th of October. A couple of days ago, the 24th, was Record Store Day on Saturday, 24th. And for once, in the last couple of years, I finally participated in a Record Store Day. In the past, I've had my issues with Record Store Day. So it wasn't my thing for a while, but this year I decided I was going to participate because there was a few albums I wanted to get. A few things came out on this drop that I was curious about and was hoping to find, and so yeah, I participated this year. I've had my issues with Record Store Day for two reasons. Number one, there's too many people, the lines are way too long, and once these people get in the stores, they start pushing people out of the way to get to the records they want, and then they go on eBay and sell it for 3 times the price. You know, a lot of that was going on a few years back. There was one particular Record Store Day I attended where there was a lot of that going on, where people were just literally bumping people out of the way just to get to the records, and it was an ugly, crazy scene. And it reminded me of a Black Thursday or Black Friday, whatever it is, where people go into these retail stores and just fight over a flat screen TV. I mean, it looked like that. it just looked disgusting, and I just thought, I don't want to be a part of this. So that turned me off to Record Store Day. Plus, I looked at the prices of some of those albums. They were sky high, and I thought, you know, Record Store Day is now just becoming a big cash grab, and you know, I'm not down with that. These poor record fanatics are getting soaked out of their money by these labels putting out these limited products and just doubling the price of it because of that. The prices have went down on most items lately, so that's good to see. So, and there's a little bit more organization in the stores, so it's not a stampede to the record bins. So that's nice. So now Record Store Day has been a lot more civil than it has been in the past. So that was really good to see. Really good to see. So so that's why I participated this year. Plus, there was things I wanted to score. And, you know, I didn't wake up at the crack of dawn to get to the record store. I didn't wake up early and get in line. I slept in, lounged around the house for a couple hours. Around 2 o'clock, I made my way to the record store. And there was hardly anyone there. There was no line. I could walk right in, go straight to the Record Store Day shelves, and thump through the products with no one around me. I was the only one there. They thumbed me to the Record Store Day stuff, whatever was left over. And if I wanted 2 or 3 items, it was fine because there was no line behind me waiting to get the records. And had I showed up at 10 a.m. right when the store opened, I could only pick one Record Store Day item and get back in line and, you know, and hopefully get a second shot at it. Not if you wait 4 hours. And I was able to grab whatever I wanted, multiple items, multiple Record Store Day items, no problems. So that was nice. And I got really lucky. I scored all the items I was hoping to find, so really happy about that. So I'm going to show my Record Store Day finds for this year. But before I do that, I want to show this first. I want to start this video off showing a brand new record from Porcupine Tree. I have not shown a brand new Porcupine Tree album on my channel in years. And now I have one, and I'm just geeking out about it. So from Porcupine Tree, the album Pure Narcotic. This came out recently, almost a week ago. It's an acoustic album of Porcupine Tree playing some of their older songs. Well, the band's old, so now all the songs are old, but somewhat earlier in their career. Here's the inner sleeve. Real nice looking inner sleeve. The back is a group photo, pretty nice. And it is on colored vinyl. It's on this light blue vinyl. Really nice looking record. Sounds great too. The story about this was Porcupine Tree played their final show as a band 10 years ago, back in 2010 in London, Royal Albert Hall, I believe. And they had planned an acoustic set to open the show, I believe, and their hope was to record those songs being performed acoustically live in front of the audience. And for whatever reason, there was technical reasons, and the acoustic set didn't get recorded. So the band later played these songs live in a recording studio as they did on stage, and these acoustic songs were captured in the recording studio, and that's what this is. There was a live record that came out during that filmed the show during the Incident tour. Live album and live video came out from that. These acoustic songs recorded in the studio were supposed to be included on that album. For some reason they were not, and those acoustic songs were shelved for years until now, and that's what this record is. And there's some great songs on here. The one I find the most interesting is the song Futile, which is played acoustically. It sounds so different. It's not as heavy as the original version, but it's real interesting. I like it. So Futile actually sounds pretty cool acoustic. The song Black Dahlia is the first song on side 1, really cool. Side 2 is Pure Narcotic, Small Fish, and Stranger by the Minute. Some really cool acoustic versions of those songs on this record. I'm just so glad to have a new Porcupine Tree record in my collection. Makes me wish the band would just reunite, do a show, do a small tour once COVID's a thing of the past, and we can start going to shows again. It'd be nice to see them again. But one can only dream. But I'm so glad that's in the collection. Pure Narcotic from Porcupine Tree. All right, now we're going to show the Record Store Day finds. This right here is my favorite of all the Record Store Day finds I scored. It is from the church. It is Golden Afternoon Fix. Such a great record. This is the remastered version. This album originally came out in 1990. So this is the remastered audio version. I think it's limited to 1,750 copies. And it's on gold vinyl. So there we are. Really nice looking record there. Looks cool, doesn't it? So really happy to score this one. I had an original pressing of this on black vinyl in my collection for years, and it was for a long time, it was one of my favorite church records to listen to. Still is. I don't know which I like. I probably slightly like Starfish more than this. Slightly. It's almost a tie for number 1, almost, but Starfish is what got me into the band in the first place back in the day. So this album is a very close second, if not tied for 1. It's a great album. The remastered mix on here sounds great. Absolutely sounds great. I love the mix on this remastered version. I haven't listened to the original and this side by side. I haven't done any of that kind of listening. But what I do like about it is on this remastered version, the layering of the instruments sounds so great, and sonically it has a lot more depth to it. The sound effects, like wind effects and such, come in and out of the mix in a very interesting way that maybe I just didn't catch on my older version, but I definitely noticed it on this one. Those are the differences I noticed right away on the first listen. I've respun this from start to finish 3 times already. I've only had it for 2 days to show you how much I love it. The very last song, which is called on the record, that closes the record, called Grind. On the original vinyl version, I did like the song, but I just thought it was okay. The song sounds fantastic on this remastered version, and I don't really know what the difference is. For some reason, maybe because the album's new and I'm excited I scored it, but for some reason that song really stands out to me. And it's I think it's now my favorite song on the album. It never used to be. Of course, the hit on here, or the hit single on here, was Metropolis. That sounds great on here, but sonically, it's an improvement over the original pressing. I at least I think so anyway. And I'm really glad I scored that. Next up is from The Who, a quick live one. This is a live recording from the Monterey International Pop Festival in 1967. I have seen documentaries about this day, this show, where they shared a stage with the likes of Jimi Hendrix, Mamas and the Papas, and Otis Redding and such. It was an all-star pop festival. It lasted 2 days. And I would always see documentaries about it, but I never had a recording of it, to tell you the truth, until now. So I'm really glad I was able to score a copy of this record. It is a fun live album. And here's the inner sleeve. A picture of the tape box lid, or notes from the tape box, I imagine, from the original tape, analog tapes. Some pictures in the back. It is on colored vinyl, red, white, and blue colored vinyl. Look at that. Pretty. Very pretty. It's a nice packaging. It wasn't, and this record wasn't really that expensive either. At least I didn't think it was. There's not a lot of songs on here. A total of 6 songs total. Considering how old this recording is, because it's from the original tapes, remastered, it sounds great. You know, on the turntable, it sounds fantastic. Because I do realize how old this recording is. On side 1 we have Substitute and Summertime Blues and Pictures of Lily. Side 2 is a quick one, Happy Jack and My Generation. So some cool songs from the 60s version of The Who. This is a kick-ass album. Being a Who fan, I absolutely love this, and I feel so glad I actually scored a copy of this album. I thought it would be, all the copies would be sold out. I feel very lucky to have found a copy of that. Okay, next up is another live record from Toto, Live in Tokyo, 1980. Another great live album. My God, this album is spectacular. Love this album. It's on red vinyl. It's so hard to get it out of the sleeve. There we are. Red vinyl. Nice looking record. Sounds killer. Oh my God, the energy the band plays on these songs is fantastic. I've heard originally this was from a box set, a CD box set. And it was a CD that was included on it. I don't have that box set, so this is the first time I ever heard this. And I was really impressed with it. I really like this. I'm glad I have this in my collection. This is the first time it's been available on vinyl. It's always been a CD, part of the CD box set. So, real nice to have. Scored this on vinyl. Really good find. My only complaint about this, I think, from a casual fan of Toto, they'd probably want to look for hits like Hold the Line or Georgie Porgy. And that is not to be found on this record. Side 1 has St. George and the Dragon, Mama and Tale of a Man. Side 2 has White Sister and Runaway. So there's really no hits on this album, but it's a great live performance. I mean, the musicianship is really good. A lot of chops being played on this album, and the vocals are fantastic. And the sound mix is good too. So really cool record to score on Record Store Day. Really love that one. Toto Live 1980. The last Record Store Day album. It's a 12-inch single from Modern English. The song is I Melt With You. I didn't know how necessary it was to score this one. I have the album that I Melt With You is from. And I actually have an old 12-inch single of I Melt With You on vinyl in my collection as well. That was released in the early 80s. So I actually had the album plus a 12-inch single. So I didn't think how necessary it was to score this, but I do like the cover on this. It does contain the LP version and the single version, plus 2 other songs called Moonbeam and Trees. It does have a custom label on it, which basically is the album artwork. Hopefully you can see that. It might be too bright in here. And then, of course, the back label. It does look like it's too bright in here. Hopefully you can see that. But it is a good single. It sounds great on my turntable. And, it's an originally rare packaging of this single, so I thought it'd be cool just from a collector standpoint to score this. My band plays this song. We're a cover band. We play 80s cover band, and we cover this song. And every time we play this song, that always brings people out to the dance floor. People love to hear this song live. So people go nuts every time we play it. And it's a song that always works. It gets people on the dance floor, gets people reacting. So, yeah. And you would think, because I'm in a cover band, I play it so many times, I'd be sick of the song. Still like to listen to it. Even bought the 12-inch single, so really glad I scored that. So those are my record store day finds. These are records from a dig I did a couple weeks ago. We're going to start with this one, Rush, Grace Under Pressure. This is the remastered version that came out some years ago. I was going through my old Rush collection vinyl, and I pulled out my old used copy of this album from the 80s, and it's been a while since I listened to this album. It's been a long time. Threw it on the turntable and listened to it from start to finish, and was just blown away. I had actually forgotten how badass of a record this is. From the first song all the way to the last song, it is just killer. And thinking to myself how cool it would be to actually get the remastered version of this album. Here's the download card that comes with it. The download card already expired, but I have so many. I have this on cassette, I have it on CD, now 2 copies on vinyl, so I'm good. And here's the original insert that came with the album. A little bit of artwork, lyrics on the back. And they still have the custom label that came out back in the day. So, and the sound mix is so incredible on this. I definitely heard a difference between my older copies and this remastered copy. The mix is absolutely badass, but I mean, I don't have every Rush remaster, just my favorite Rush albums, and I'm always blown away by how good the remaster is. They really did a good job on the Rush remasters. They sound great, and this is no exception. This sounds absolutely badass. And an album I just forgot about, to tell you the truth. Big fan of this record still, and it's nice to have the remastered version. I thought I was done buying the Rush remasters. Like, I figured I had it for every favorite album I was after. But after hearing the old copy and hearing how great these songs were, it became a must. So I'm glad I actually got this. Wasn't exactly needed, but I'm glad I got it. Alright, next up, I took a chance on this album, and thinking I might hate it. I found it used for half the price it normally goes for, brand new, so I thought I'd give it a chance. End up really liking this collection of songs. It's from Sting, and it's called My Songs. And what it is his classic albums from his solo career, and some Police songs re-recorded, reimagined, reworked. And yeah, he re-recorded all these old songs, like, Brand New Day and Desert Rose. If You Love Someone, Set Them Free, Every Breath You Take, Demolition Man, Can't Stand Losing You, Fields of Gold, So Lonely, Shape of My Heart, Message in a Bottle, Fragile, Walking on the Moon, Englishman in New York, If I Ever Lose My Faith in You, and a live version of Roxanne. So I decided, I looked at it, it's like, I bet you he does some jazzy version of a Police song or some folky version of one of his songs, and I'm not going to like it. They are reworked, they are brand new, they are new recordings of these songs, but he doesn't go overboard with redoing them. He actually does it with some taste, and I actually like this record a lot. it's a 2-record set, 2 LPs, and the records have the same labels, so I'll just show you one. So there we are. They all have the same labels. But I'm telling you, he did a great job re-recording these songs. I mean, not all of them. There's only a couple I don't like the newer recordings. If You Love Someone, Set Them Free. I prefer the 85 version over this one, but this one's okay. Oh, and it also came with a poster. Almost forgot to show that. And it's just, the poster is the cover art. So, not bad. It's nice to see albums being shipped with posters, brand new ones. So, that's a cool touch. So, yeah, I think that was about the only one I didn't like. Well, I mean, it was okay. I didn't think it was that necessary. Every Breath You Take, I didn't know if that was necessary to redo it, but it's not bad. It's not bad. If I Ever Lose My Faith in You is pretty different. I prefer the original, but this reimagined version is still pretty good. The rest of the songs sound great. Demolition Man, Can't Stand Losing You, Fields of Gold, even though it's very different, sounds good. So Lonely really sounds good on this, the old Police song. He did a good job reworking all these classic songs. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I could see where a lot of people would criticize it because big fans of the Police would think those songs are sacred ground and shouldn't be messed around with. So I could see why people wouldn't like this album. But I put it on and I just said, let's see what he does. And yeah, I liked a lot of the reworked versions. Of course, nothing will top the originals, of course. And I think Sting knows that. So when he redid these songs, he didn't go overboard, do a ridiculous version of it. I mean, it's still a song you recognize, just with a modern touch to it, more contemporary sound and touch to it. It's good. I liked it. So please, if you're a Police or Sting fan, you might want to give this a chance. Maybe sample it online or something like that. You might be surprised how much you like it. Now this is cool right here. From Suzanne Vega, Solitude Standing, live at the Barbican. I think that's how you say it. I might have butchered that. Volume 1. Basically, this is her whole Solitude Standing album done live. This is the 25th anniversary concert of that album. October 16th, 2012 is the concert date. So it's a live record, live recording. And what I like about this is in between every song, she gives her story. She has a story for every song. You know, what inspired her to write it, how she wrote it, or some memory associated with the song. She says a great story about Prince before she plays Luca. She tells a great story about Prince attending one of her concerts in Minneapolis because he was a big fan of the song Luca at the time and really wanted to hear her sing it in concert. So he was in attendance at one of her shows in Minneapolis just to hear that song. So I mean, it was a cool story how she tells a lot of cool stories like that in between every song. And what's great about this album, it's a 2-record set and it plays at 45 RPM. So the sound mix is really good. It sounds like you're there. It sounds like you're there in this nice auditorium. It really has a cool mix. And it's on clear vinyl or colored vinyl. There we go. And, you know, I like the labels on this. Absolutely great. There's a volume 2, which has other of her other songs on it, and I'll keep a lookout for that one. I was really surprised to find this. I didn't know this existed. I just got this album, Solitude Standing, on my last dig. Showed it in my last video, Vinyl Finds video, and really liked that album, and saw this and. There was no question I wanted it. And came in here and listened to it, and her band plays those songs so good live. It's a really good live recording. I really love this album. and mainly for the stories she tells in between the songs. It's really cool. She tells some great stories, and she's a great storyteller. So, a real favorite of mine already. Love this album, so glad I got it. Alright, let's keep moving. A jazz record from Billy Cobham, Spectrum. I had this album already, but mine was an old, beat-up, ancient album I got for a couple bucks. This is a much cleaner album, so it's kind of an upgrade. Again, another record I knew I liked, but I forgot how... I haven't listened to it in a while. I forgot how freaking awesome this album is. Of course, the drumming is badass on this album. I love listening to amazing drummers because I get so jealous because I can't play like them. And it even comes with this original insert with all the advertisements of older albums from Atlantic. So really cool. And it's, of course, on the Atlantic label. There we are. It's just an upgraded copy. This is a lot nicer copy than the one I got originally. And it was only like $5. And I thought, oh, I get to upgrade with a nice copy. And this album is badass. It's this high energy jazz fusion with some amazing drumming on it. And can't say no. This is a killer album. I'm going to geek out over it every time I listen to it. I've listened to it twice in its entirety, and I've geeked out to it every time. This album just has my number. What can I say? Sucker for this album, and it's a great album. I love it, and so glad I found an upgraded copy. It's a good album. I'm glad I got a better copy of it. Another jazz album from Brand X, and this is like a compilation album. It's called Brand X Extra. And this is a compilation of some of their songs over the years, from 76 to 82, I believe. And there's the back, and those are the albums that, you know, we get a song or two from each album on this nice compilation. I've never seen this before. I didn't know this existed. For those who don't know, this back in the this is a band from the 70s. Phil Collins played drums in this band in between the Genesis albums and tours. And a lot of his drumming is on a lot of the tracks on here. There's another... He doesn't play drums on every track. There's another drummer on here as well. But he plays drums on half the songs on this compilation. His jazz fusion drumming in this band was very impressive. Very impressive. I mean, it made you realize how good of a drummer Phil Collins was back in the 70s. I mean, just a killer drum tracks and killer songs too. The songs are fantastic. Nuclear Burn is still my favorite on here. It's forever going to be my favorite Brand X song. It's on Passport Records. There's the label. Hopefully you can make that out. Hopefully it's not too bright. A great compilation of their songs. This was such a cool listen. Such a cool listen. I really enjoyed this. I've spun this twice, again, from start to finish, and man, I just love this compilation. I do like compilations. I know, like a greatest hits package. I know a lot of people don't like to listen to those on the VC. I do. It's nice to hear everything on one album that covers pretty much their whole disc, like a song from each album. It's so cool to listen to stuff like that, and this is just killer. This is a really fun record. This is going to get a lot of spins in this room, this music room. I just have too much fun with these songs. This is a great compilation. If you ever find this one and you're into jazz fusion and you're a Phil Collins fan, you just might like this. It's a great record. Okay, I'm going to show you some 45s real quick, and then I'm out of here. I've never seen this on a 45 before, and I geeked out when I saw it. It's from Rush, and it's Tom Sawyer. I do know it existed because I see people posting pictures of it on their social media online, Rush fans. But I've never seen one in a store before. And on Record Store Day, just a couple days ago, after I found my Record Store Day items, I started browsing the used 45s. And this popped out of me. So naturally I had to get it, being a big Rush fan. And I'm so glad to have Tom Sawyer on a 45. I'm still geeking out over this. On the B side, we have the song "Witch Hunt," which is from the Moving Pictures album, of course. Oh, you don't know how happy this makes me. It's just the simple pleasures in life that make me geek out, and this is definitely a 45 that I'm going to take excellent care of. This is so happy to have this, you don't know. All right, this is kind of a downer right here. I bought usually when I buy a 45, they have to have a picture sleeve like this. I very rarely buy 45s that don't have a picture sleeve, but I made an exception for this one. And I bought this about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It was like a little over a week ago. It's from the Spencer Davis Group for the song "Give Me Some Lovin'." I've always loved that song, and thought this would be this really old, ancient-looking 45. I thought would be a cool addition to the collection. So I bought it on like a weekend or so ago, and 3 or 4 days later, I read the news that Spencer Davis passed away. Only 3 or 4 days after I bought this. And I thought, wow, what a coincidence. What a spooky coincidence, a sad coincidence. On the B side, there's a song called Blues in F, which I haven't listened to because I keep spinning this side A song over and over and over again. Yeah, such a bummer. Right after I bought this, 3 or 4 days later, the reports of Spencer Davis passing away. Well, at least I got the record. And I got it before he passed away, now if I found this in a record, I got this for like $3. I bet you now it would be double or triple the price because the guy passed away. Amazing how that happens. Okay, another 45 that doesn't have a picture sleeve, but it looked like a cool old record. It's from the Byrds, and it's the song "Mr. Tambourine Man," which I've always liked from the band. One of my favorite songs from the Byrds, "Mr. Tambourine Man." Everybody knows that song. And it's cool to have this on this old 45. On the B side is the song "I Knew to Want You," I think is what it says. I need my glasses to read this damn thing. "I knew I'd want you. I knew I'd want you." Don't look at records with old eyes, folks. It's frustrating. Anyway, great song from the Byrds. Again, this only cost me a couple of bucks. And it's a song I've always liked from them, so why not? So went ahead and went for it. So glad it's in the collection. Along with this one from The Who. I showed you a Who from a live record from the 60s. This is around that same era. It's for the song from The Who, "I Can See for Miles and Miles." One of my favorite songs, without a doubt, from The Who. "I Can See for Miles." I love that song. One of my favorites. And it's from Decca Records. I always liked their label. Looks so cool. I haven't listened to the B-side yet, which is Mary Ann with the Shaky Hands. I don't know. I haven't listened to it because I keep listening to this song over and over and over. A great song from The Who. I got a couple of live Who albums that contains this song, and it's always one of my favorites to listen to. So glad I got the 45. That's it. That's the vinyl haul for this video. Thanks for sticking around. I know my videos are long and I ramble too much, but I love talking about records. Hopefully you guys love to listen. And please leave me some comments, as always, about anything you saw here, or just say hello. And let me know what you guys got for Record Store Day. If you guys went out and braved the crowds and the long lines, let me know what you scored, because there was a lot of good stuff to pick up this Record Store Day. And who knows, maybe I'll do the next Record Store Day drop next month. Should be fun. Alright, that's going to do it. See you guys in the next video. Take care.